Welcome to Retirement Key Radio with Abe Abish.
Abe, obviously, I like to come at you with a lot of questions as much as I can because the whole idea of planning for retirement is intimidating. But my first question I wanted to ask you, questions about the questions that we have.
I'm ready.
MoneyTalksNews.com surveyed retirees to find out what areas and issues they'd like to get some help with from a financial advisor. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what they found in this survey and perhaps what we can take and learn from these findings.
All right. In the survey, among retirees who are considering working with an advisor, the things they want professional help with the most include advising on an investment strategy for their retirement savings to protect from market downturns and volatility.
Got it.
That was over 60% of people that wanted that help.
Yep.
Also, another big one, determining how to best draw down from their investments in retirement. In other words, a spend down plan, a distribution and income plan.
Okay.
And third was minimizing taxes in retirement on the retirement dollars.
Right.
Those are actually what we get the most questions for on these different retirement planning topics.
Well, that's good then to know that these results align.
The survey was spot on, I think.
Okay, good.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. So we just helped a lady who came in for a lot of these concerns, and she is 62. She lives in Herndon, Virginia, and she has in between $500,000 and $1 million saved.
Okay.
She's retiring in the next 3 years. She has no plan. Not an investment plan, not an insurance plan, an income plan, a tax plan, none of it. And she's got this money saved. See, this is the problem with most people in the DC metro area, and I would say pre-retirees and retirees in general, is that there is no plan.
Got it.
And typically the only plan people have is an accumulation and savings plan, especially in the DC metro area. A lot of people have done a good job of saving, but their problems are all of the areas that can mess up this savings in retirement.
Got it.
So she wanted to know where she stood. Is the amount of money she has saved today enough to help her cross the finish line in 3 years? So we help people cross the finish line into retirement and then obviously retire as successfully as possible for the rest of their lives.
Okay.
Word for word, Heather, is here's what she said.
Okay.
I'm paralyzed with fear. I'm paralyzed with fear. And I said, ma'am, our clients are not paralyzed with fear. You don't have to be either. By having a plan, you can take a lot of that stress out of the equation because now you know where you stand, if you've done enough or if you haven't. And then that's very helpful, right? Then also, Heather, it's a combination of both monies in the market and out of the market, basically taking on the appropriate amount of risk for your stage in life and for the amount of money you have saved and what you want to accomplish in retirement. So the first thing we did, and the first thing we do with almost everybody we meet with, is we take all their stuff. A lot of times we call it a financial junk drawer.
Yeah.
And we
I bet you see a lot of shoe boxes, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when the market's up, people are opening up their statements, and when the market's down, a lot of people aren't, right?
That's right.
And that's not the way it should be either, but it is. So one of the first things we do is we help people create a roadmap, and we call that a retirement income plan. It's very simple, but think about this. You've worked all of your life to save the amount of money you want to save and have needed to save. Your paychecks are going to stop. So naturally, we need to make sure that we can supplement those paychecks. We can replace those paychecks with paychecks from our retirement dollars. So we put together a retirement income plan, and what we found out was that she is darn close to being where she needs to be in terms of creating the income she needs for retirement, adjusted for inflation the rest of her life. That gave her a huge sense of relief.
Huge relief, yes.
Right? Knowing that, hey, I'm pretty close. I still have 3 years.
Yeah.
I need to save as much as I can, but man, I'm darn close to where I need to be. So that was refreshing for her to see. Then what we found out, because she was basically paralyzed by fear, is what she said. We found out she had a ton of cash in the bank and then a smaller amount in the market because that was her way to basically protect a large portion of her nest egg by keeping a lot in cash. So she needed an investment plan and a plan for her investments and savings, and she needed that combination put together for her, and our team of advisors was able to do that. And overall, she wanted a compass check. Where do I stand today? Abe and the team, I need a plan. Can you help us to put together a roadmap and an action plan to tell me where I stand today? Have I saved enough, or how much more do I need to save to get to where I need to be?
It's such an important question that so few of us have ever been presented with, though. This, where do I need to be? How do I get there, right?
Right. And fortunately, she's got a few years left. We can't work magic, so if you're retiring in a month or a couple months,
sure,
it is what it is, and we have to maximize whatever you have. But by having this Compass check done and this actionable, comprehensive income plan done, we'll find out, do you have enough saved? Are you paying too much in fees? Are you taking on the appropriate amount of risk for your stage in life and for the amount of risk you're comfortable with taking? Are you paying too much in taxes on your retirement dollars? All these questions can be answered, and it allows someone to control what they can control and put themselves in the driver's seat by taking on this action.
And I imagine makes them feel so much better in the direction that they're headed. I mean, just this woman's story, how great is it that she came to you now versus, 3 years out of retirement versus 3 months out of retirement? It probably would have been a very different experience for her, knowing that she would have had to work longer than the 3 months left she had planned. Right. And that's the difference in having these kinds of conversations and having a plan in place. And it's what Abe and the team are here to help you create for yourself. Abe, another survey here I wanted to ask you about. Charles Schwab, we love our surveys.
That's right.
Charles Schwab found that the average baby boomer supposedly has about $920,000 saved for retirement. However, they also found that boomers expect to spend about $135,000 a year in retirement. And this is where the wheels start to come off. Because at that rate, they're going to enjoy a comfortable retirement for only 7 years. So what about year 8? What about year 9? And all the years that follow? This is not a very realistic plan, is it?
Not at that spending rate.
No.
So you know what, Heather, we need to be realistic.
Okay.
When putting together a retirement income plan for somebody, and if someone has $900,000 to $1 million saved and they're spending $135,000 or need that much coming from their investments, man, again, we can't work magic. At some point at that drawdown rate, we could run out. So maybe we need to be more realistic about what our portfolio can generate.
Okay.
Oftentimes you hear about this 4% rule. Not saying that is something we need to follow, but the 4% rule says, hey, don't take out more than 4% of your investments heading into retirement. And so we need to follow some type of rule. We can't just pull out 10% of our retirement accounts every year. Otherwise, we could run out of money. So we just helped a couple that lives in Frederick, Maryland, and that's why they came in. They came in, again, for a Compass check. They've done an amazing job. They have over $3 million saved. They are retiring in 3 years. They're in their early 60s. And obviously, they knew they could create the retirement they wanted to create. They had a good feeling that they had saved enough. That wasn't the problem. The problem for this couple, and again, so many others, is what are the areas that we're not aware of? What are the areas that can mess this up? Right? One of the areas that they were kind of aware of, but not super informed on, was this risk called sequence risk.
Okay.
Now, sequence risk is not relevant. It doesn't pertain to anyone when they're working and not taking money out of the retirement accounts.
Okay.
But it is of extreme importance and relevance the day someone retires and starts pulling money out of the retirement accounts.
Okay.
And these are the people that we work with.
Right.
So sequence risk is the risk that when this couple retires, if they're all in the market and the market's down while they're pulling money out, they have a double negative, a double whammy, maybe a triple negative or triple whammy. That's not okay because the next year they have to go back into their funds for income. They can't just say, Heather and Abe, I'm going to turn off my income this year and not do what I want to do in retirement.
Right.
Who wants to live that way?
Nobody.
So this was a risk we helped them to eliminate on a portion of their portfolio simply by separating and segregating their monies to serve different purposes. Some for long-term growth. Matter of fact, a large portion of their portfolio, over $2 million, we're going to separate and put on the growth side. Hey guys, you've done a fantastic job of saving. We can put this couple million over here to grow for legacy, to grow for later on in life.
Okay.
But this million here, perhaps we should take that million and make sure it's as secure as possible. Okay. Make sure that it's not going to lose as much, if any, when the rest of the money, goes up and down, let's make sure that this $1 million over here can create supplemental additional income on top of your Social Security and pensions. And they really loved being able to separate the monies like that and really creating a plan. All they had before that, Heather, was an accumulation plan, and a darn good one, right? $3 million bucks.
That's right.
They're savers, but a retirement plan is not just an investment plan, right? A retirement plan is all of these pieces put together in the most comprehensive way possible.
Find out more at retirementkeyradio.com.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NPM number 770-3575.